Hello guys, welcome to the IIT and GATE classes. Now we have started the series on previous year GATE question paper on the mechanical subjects. Today we are going to start basically heat transfer mechanical set 2 paper. Now coming to the question pattern, as you can see the total number of weightage was quite low this year for the mechanical set 2. Only 3 marks were allotted. Out of 100 marks, the 3% allotted to heat transfer mechanical set 2 paper, in which 1 mark question were no 1 and the 2 mark question was 1. So the total question number of questions were 2 and the total marks were 3. So it's quite low as compared to the previous years. Now coming to the question number 1. In a furnace, the inner and outer sides of the brick wall are maintained at 1100 and 700 degrees centigrade respectively as shown in the figure. So there is a brick wall which is insulated by K2 material. The brick wall is covered by insulating material which is having a thermal conductivity of K2, and the thickness of insulation is quite less as compared to the wall thickness, that is L by 4. The outer surface of the insulation is 200 degrees centigrade and the heat flux there is a mention as 2500 watt per meter square, and we need to find the value of K. Now to solve this question, we will be looking at Fourier law of heat conduction. Fourier law of heat conduction. Basically, Fourier law of heat conduction is nothing but Q is directly proportional to temperature gradient. Q is directly proportional to surface area of heat transfer, and it is directly proportional to K. So we can easily write down Q is nothing but Ka dou T by dou X. Now we have to put minus sign because in the Fourier law of heat conduction, whenever heat is transferring from any body 1 from surface 1 to surface 2, now the dou T by dou X or dt by dx in this case will be negative. In this case, dt by dx will be negative. We are moving from left hand side to right hand side because the temperature is decreasing. Now we know that the Q we are giving to the system, that means positive, along positive x-axis. That means this quantity must be positive. Now the dou T by dou X is nothing but, we have what, negative term. It is a negative term. If you multiply negative with the negative, we are getting positive. That's why we are multiplying the negative term with the Fourier law of heat conduction. That is the one point. Second aspect is that to satisfy second law of thermodynamics. To satisfy second law of thermodynamics, that means the heat can only be transferred from higher temperature end to the lower temperature end. It cannot be possible to flow the heat from lower temperature end to higher temperature end without giving any work input. That is what the Clausius statement, and that is what we have the second law of thermodynamics. So with respect to both point of view, we know that we need to multiply with the negative sign. Now, and of course K is a thermal conductivity, which is the property of the material. Now coming to, we need to find out what is the thermal conductivity of insulating material so that it will provide sufficient insulation so that the brick wall, the heat transfer will not take place as fast as before it is taking place. Now, solution of this question. We need to make a thermal circuit which is same as electrical circuit. Now, we have a brick wall which is having K1 and this is having K2 and this is having L1 and L2, and we are transferring heat flux. Now there is a difference between heat transfer and heat flux. When I divide heat transfer by area, that will give me heat flux. Now, if I draw the thermal circuit, so this is what the thermal circuit I will get it. That is T infinity 1, T1, T2, T3. Now we know that what is the T1 we have 1100 degrees centigrade, T2 we have 700 degrees centigrade, and T3 we have 200 degrees centigrade. Now this is we have 1 upon HA, L1 divided by K1 A1, L2 divided by K2 A2, 1 upon H2 into A, and of course area 1 and area 2 both are same. If you see the 3D figure, the area we have taken, we are assuming same. This is what the area we have, and we are assuming it is same, both A1 and A2. Now, we know that the heat transfer or heat flux can be analogous to current in the electrical circuit. And we know that current in each junction will be same. Let's say Q here also Q, here also Q, here also Q. Why? Because we have one of the assumption that steady state. The steady state means the property or the variable which is not going to vary with respect to time. Now, so this junction has not been given and this junction has not been given, this particular circuit. We have this circuit and this circuit. So if I draw again, this is a circuit I am having now. And we know that heat flux can be given as T1 minus T2 divided by L1 divided by K1, which is also equal to T2 minus T3 L2 divided by K2. We know that area, that is Q by A. This term is nothing but Q by A. So that is what we are going to solve. Now without knowing the value of Q, we are going to solve by using we are equating this term and this term. Now let me clear some of the portion. Fine. Now T1 we have 1100 degrees centigrade. T1 we have 1100 and T2 we have 700. L1 we don't know, but we know the K1. K1 we have nothing but 2.5. K1 we have 2.5, which is equal to 700 minus 200. K2 we need to find, and L2 is given as L1 by 4. L2, this is nothing but L2. Now if I am going to solve, so I am going to get 400 into 2.5, which is equal to 4 into 500 into K2. So if you are going to calculate, you are going to get 1000 divided by 2000, that is equal to 0.5. So this is the answer for this question. K2, that is of insulating material. Thermal conductivity is 0.5. As you can see, the brick wall is having thermal conductivity of 2.5. Still heat is transferring very low in the case of brick wall, but still we are maintaining we are giving some insulating material of still very less thermal conductivity, that is 0.5. And we know that when thermal conductivity is very less, the heat transferring through that medium will be less. Through that particular slab, insulating slab will be less. So that is the purpose which will be fulfilled by providing the insulating material to the brick wall. Now let's move on to the second question. It is one of the easiest question you can ever see in the thermal radiation. Now, solution of this question: the spectrum distribution of radiation from a black body. Black body is very, very important at a temperature of T1 3000 Kelvin and having a maximum wavelength. The body cools down to temperature T2, and if the wavelength corresponding to the maximum spectral distribution of T2 is 1.2 times of original wavelength, then we need to find what is the value of T2 in Kelvin. Now, before solving this question, I need to give some basic idea about some laws which we are having in the basically in the thermal radiation. So, what are the laws in thermal radiation? Solution will be in the two steps. That is not going to helpful, but what is actually happening and how we got that particular formula, we are going to see through laws. Now, first law we are having Planck's law. Planck's law of thermal radiation. Now, Planck's law is given for the black body, and this law states that the monochromatic MSC power of the black body, that means EB of lambda, is a function of both temperature as well as the wavelength of radiation energy emitted. So let me write down again. This law states that the monochromatic MSC power of black body, very important, black body, is dependent on both temperature and wavelength, which is the wavelength of the radiation energy which are emitted. So that is about Planck's law. Now, let me give you the formula for this particular Planck's law. Fine. So let me give you a formula. So EB lambda, basically we are denoting with the help of some function, that is 2 pi C1 lambda to the power 5 e power C2 by lambda t minus 1. That is watt per meter square micrometer. That is the wavelength unit we have. Now I am going to show with the help of graph. Let me show the graph. Fine. So this is my having EB lambda, that is monochromatic MSC power of the black body, and this is I am having wavelength. Now if I draw the graph, so let me show the peak of this particular curve. Now if I draw the peaks of the curve, so this is the line joining the peaks of the curve, that is correspondingly to the different temperature. Let's say T3, T2, and this is corresponding to T1. And we know that T3 is more than T2 is more than T1. That means if I look the graph very carefully, what is happening is that when I reduce the temperature, what is happening? When the temperature is decreasing, the maximum wavelength at which I am getting it is corresponding to 1. So let me call lambda 1, and this is corresponding to 2, and this is corresponding to lambda n 3. Now when the temperature is decreasing, now the maximum wavelength point starts shifting towards right. That means whenever I'm decreasing the temperature, the maximum wavelength points start shifting towards the right. I can say that lambda is inversely proportional to temperature. Now, that is the particular the conclusion we got from the graph. This is the first conclusion. Now, how we can exactly correlate that lambda, that is a wavelength, with respect to temperature? So that is nothing but, if I am going to find the locus of all the points, of maximum EB lambda correspondingly to what I'm going to get, we need to do d by d lambda of the formula which I am having equal to 0, because at the point of maximum the slope is 0. So if I'm going to equate EB lambda, d by d lambda of EB lambda equal to 0, I'm going to get maximum value of lambda. And that is nothing but lambda maximum into T equal to 2898 micrometer Kelvin. That is what the formula I'm going to get it. That means the locus of all the points where the EB lambda is maximum, if I'm going to do the differentiation with respect to lambda, I'm going to get lambda value. So correspondingly, that whatever the EB lambda is there, that is the maximum, and correspondingly whatever the lambda value I'm getting, what is the wavelength I'm getting, that is the maximum wavelength. This particular law, let me remove some portion. Lambda maximum into temperature equal to 2898. This we call Wien's displacement law. This we call Wien's displacement law. Now here we cannot say lambda into T must be constant. We have to write it is not equal to constant. We have to write maximum into T should be equal to constant. Any lambda into T cannot be constant, cannot be having a constant value. Only lambda maximum, which is corresponding to EB maximum, EB lambda maximum, that must be multiplied with the T, that will give the constant value. And then only I can say lambda maximum 1 into T1 equal to lambda maximum 2 into T2. So that's why in the question they have mentioned lambda maximum, not simply lambda, not simply the wavelength. They have mentioned maximum wavelength corresponding to T1 temperature, and second wavelength correspondingly to T2 temperature. Now that is all about the Wien's displacement law. Now this is a graph which we plotted. Now if I am going to calculate area under this curve, what I am going to get? Total MSC power of the black body. Total MSC power of the black body. That means if I am going to do that particular formula, that is EB lambda into D lambda That will give me the area. Now if I want to calculate, that is nothing but 5.67 into 10 power minus 8 e power 4. That is nothing but EB. That is MSC power of the black body. And that is nothing but governing laws for thermal radiation. That is nothing but governing law for the thermal radiation, and we know that it is a Stefan-Boltzmann law. So what I did, I just started with the Planck's law. And I have derived two formula. One is Wien's displacement law, and the second formula which I derived basically Stefan-Boltzmann law. So the basic law is Planck law. From there I have derived this Wien's displacement as well as Stefan-Boltzmann law. In this question we are not going to use Planck's law, neither we are going to use Stefan-Boltzmann law. We are going to use Wien's displacement law based on the given data. Now let me go through the question again. Spectral radiation T1 is mentioned as 3000 Kelvin, and we know that correspondingly there is a maximum wavelength 1, and T2 is there. We don't know, we need to find, and it is mentioned that if the wavelength corresponding to maximum spectral distribution T2 is, that is 2 is nothing but 1.2 times of wavelength, that is a maximum wavelength 1. Now apply the Wien's displacement law. Wien's displacement law. So lambda maximum 1 into T1, lambda maximum 2 into T2. I can equate because lambda maximum into T having some constant. Now what is the lambda maximum we have? We don't know. Let's say lambda m1 into T1 3000 Kelvin, T2 we need to find, and it is 1.2 times of lambda m1. So that will be cancelled out. So if I am going to calculate T2 value, so 3000 divided by 1.2, that is going to give me the value called 2500 Kelvin, and that is nothing but one of the integer value, and they told that we need to calculate the value of T2 in Kelvin, that to round off to nearest integer. So the answer will be 2500 Kelvin. So that is all about the basic law which are attaching to the basic law which are governing to the thermal radiation. So that is all about the question number 1 and question number 2. Thanks all.